whole thing's been a good experience. One long ago, I was coaching Division III games, and that's been a great experience. But you can't compare it to what it is to spend a year going through the ACC conference and regionals and everything. And last weekend it was pretty crazy. So it's exciting. It really is.
I'd imagine because the Division II and Division III, they kind of get over almost 2 weeks before you guys do regular season wise. So you've probably watched a lot of this on TV.
Always, yeah.
Can you talk about what it was like seeing these things on TV and now getting the experience?
Always. I mean, I've always watched. I've always been really, really a big fan and really have studied the game at this level. And postseason is just played at a different level. And really watching and being a fan of what I've seen Coach Leggett do is what brought me down here to shadow the program and everything else. So it's kind of odd that how things have worked out. Yeah, I've always watched.
Do you think your youthful exuberance into this experience has kind of translated to your team and your pitching staff? That's a young pitching staff that's also never been to Omaha. I think Wilson's the only guy on the whole team that's experienced it other than Coach Leggett and TR. Has that helped that you kind of give that youthful exuberance to them?
Yeah, well, I'm 43, so I appreciate the youthful thing. But you know what? I just think exuberance for people. Honestly, that's really what I've tried to do with the pitching staff because they haven't had a lot of experience, and I think as long as we just, we were good with showing them that, hey, we're here to make you better, and we're investing in you as people. And Coach Leggett does a great job with that whole team, and I think maybe that's why we've clicked so well together. Is I brought that to the pitching staff, and I just had amazing kids, and they've been able to just execute when it's been their time. So.
Since the Georgia Tech game, your staff has been, for the most part, pretty hot. I mean, they had the one hiccup against the second game against Auburn, but for the most part, be consistent. You're getting good quality stuff out of your middle relief. Example was the Game 3 against Auburn the other day. Can you talk about your two starters, Wiseman and them, how they kind of stepped up a little bit, and then you had one good performance from Lamb. He didn't have his best stuff the other day, but still, he's capable of it.
That's it.
Can you talk about how they've kind of all stepped up as a staff?
Yeah, the thing is it was the investment of what we made earlier in the year in pitching people. We use a lot of people all year. We put them out there in situations instead of going with the upperclassmen all the time. We just kept using everybody. And it paid off because we get to a regional where we have to use some people, and it wasn't their first time onto the mound, or an ACC tournament where we have to use some people, and all that I think really, really paid off. The investments we made earlier in the year using all of them. Right now, the job Scott did in Game 1 allowed us to move everybody and keep everybody fresh, and then Casey right on his heels does the same thing. And that's what won it. Those two starts really enabled our pitching staff to win the last night. That's how it happened.
But you knew on Monday that you were going to have to start some young players, and some young players are really going to have to step up. Yeah. Talk about that, watching that from the dugout and watching, Brady and Frederick come out and, really just pitch well.
It's hard to, young pitchers are a challenge. You saw they were nervous. They're better than that. I think everybody would agree that what they saw out of them was spirited, but they've got a little bit better game in them than that. And we talked about that afterwards. That about reaching that expectation. Not using their youth as an excuse. So that we ran them out there. I feel like they've got better in them, and they will be better this weekend. But it just helps so much to be able to go to Freddie and Brady and have them do what they did on the field. But had you used them earlier, had Wiseman, had Casey not did what they did, who knows who you've burned up going into that last step. That's really what hurt Auburn.
Right.
It's after using them.